Y'all like that beat?
Yeah, that's a dope intro. I like it.
Feel it. I feel it.
I like that. Okay. Somewhere else. I mean, Nigerians. Have you ever heard that Netflix remix beat?
Which one?
Ilza? Oh, which ones? Oh, you heard them all, huh? I was only thinking about one. That I'll play. I'll send it to you a little later. But all right. I think we live now. I think we good to go. Let me go ahead and share. Let me start it off. All right. Let me make sure. People are hopping on. You know what I'm saying? And let me.
You gonna share it on Facebook?
Yep. I just shared it on Facebook.
All right, cool.
Yep. Just shared it on Facebook. Y'all, we live. So if you have not just yet, go ahead and share. It's a Father's Day special tonight. It's also Juneteenth, so we want to say Happy Juneteenth for real. All right. Some of us have already been celebrating it, but for sure now, all of America can celebrate it, and you can get off work for that. So yeah, happy Juneteenth, and happy Father's Day. That's tomorrow. I'm saying that now because I'm not gonna see you guys tomorrow for Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all my fathers out there, all of my stand-in fathers, all of my oh, thank you, Howard.
Spiritual
Appreciate
fathers.
that. Spiritual fathers, every father out there. Happy Father to you, Mr. Steven. Happy fathers to you, fat fathers. Happy Father's Day to you, Mr. Sam. We are on. So y'all, I got some people that's coming on tonight. Some other fathers here. You can go ahead and introduce yourself and what is it that you do? Whoever want to go first.
All right, I'll go. I'll go first. So my name is Steven Hernandez. I am in the San Marcos, Texas area. And so I do a few things. I'm a full-time stay-at-home dad. Since COVID is really when it started. And but I have a business, and so I'm a youth speaker, music artist, and then also I create videos, so video content for YouTubers, for businesses, anything and everything. And so I've been doing that for over a year, but that's really kind of what I do now.
All right, bet, man. And y'all, this is his handle, so go ahead and follow him on Instagram. And
do something great dot today.
There you go. Do something great dot today. And then we have none other than.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Sam. Father of three. Going on 13 years of marriage Monday.
13. All right.
Just getting up there, man. Yeah, so like I said, father three, married. Have a business in Oakland, New Life Carpet Care, cleaning business. Also do music production and artistry. So yeah, when the kids give me time to do it, I do it.
Mm-hmm. Is this your handle? Is this the right one? I saw this one.
Yeah, that's the family handle.
There you go.
Kind of IG right there. Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and follow that. All right, the Russ Collective. All right, and y'all know me. I'm Herbert. And I guess you want to throw out marriage years. Steve, how long you been married?
12 years in May.
Ooh. Oh yeah, my birthday. I know.
Your birthday. Your birthday. I feel bad. I gotta share that with you.
Yeah.
But we love you.
Yeah. Okay. But but yeah, been married for 8 years in May 25th. So we all got some skin in the game. How many kids you guys have?
3.
So 3, 2. I got 3. I have
Sam is also
what?
Captain America. Just so y'all.
What you mean?
He kind of looks like Sam Wilson.
Oh, that's what you just.
Yeah, I was kind of like,
this dude at Chick-fil-A thought I was him one time. He was like super excited. He's like, "Oh my God, it's the Falcon or whatever the guy's." I'm like, "No, it's not." Thank you.
Oh my goodness gracious, man. Well, hopefully they can throw some money your way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Some free food, something.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Y'all can go follow me at Herbert_Zeal on my Instagram page. Got some good content on there, some family stuff too. So you can go check that out before we get in. So, y'all, if y'all have not, before we get into our convo, let's go ahead and share, y'all, because I think it's gonna be pretty fun. We're gonna have fun tonight. You know, we're not gonna do our usual tell it hour, but I guarantee we're gonna have some good content because Sam, he is on East Coast time, and so right now it's 9:50 for him. It's only me and Steve here that's on our Central Standards. We're gonna try to get in. So all right, y'all, we're gonna just start. We're gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna shoot this to Mr. Sam. So, my brother, you have 3 kids.
Yes.
But what was life before kids? Now you can either go married life before kids, or what was Sam the man by himself without kids?
Man, Sam the man by himself without kids was free, you know. I didn't have to consider anybody else. I mean, other than myself, right? So then you have married life with 3 kids now. It's like it's almost impossible not to think about like your family, even if they're all asleep and I'm out here in the studio. I'm still like I can't really crank the music up too loud in the headphone because it's like, okay, well, what if somebody's crying? What if somebody's having a night terror? What if somebody needs to be changed? You know, so there's all these different variables that are constantly going on in my head. So unless they're like actually gone out of the house, I can't truly focus. I'm not saying that as a negative thing necessarily. It's just kind of the mind of a father, right? It's like if they're here, there has to be a certain amount of presence that I have. Even if there's something else that I need to do, I'm still thinking about them. I'm still aware of them. And you can't, like, there's no getting away from that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, I'm not going to call it a gift and a curse, but it's just something that you're always, you know, aware of. It's kind of like a beautiful burden in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very poetic.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, life before kids.
So you kind of know what it was like before kids in SUM. Well, that was before marriage.
Like before marriage too? Because we can go.
Yeah, that was before marriage. So before marriage, I was new to the faith, kind of like learning everything, trying to. One of the main things was I wanted to learn what it was to be a man of God. Then I wanted to learn what it meant to be like a husband of God. So I was just kind of new, kind of learning things. But like Sam was saying, in general, was I was kind of like focused on myself.
Yeah.
For marriage, I think because I got married, took a year off, and then I went to seminary right into it. So it was different, like, because now that I am the stay-at-home dad, I have to like think about so many other things, and it's just like, okay, did I pack the food? Did I get them dressed? There's a clothes match, because every time I'll be having the kids going out crazy, or I let them pick because I'm trying to get them independent. I'm like, all right, you pick. They go out the door crazy. Susie's mad at me. I'm like, they wanted to wear that. You know what I mean? So it's different. Again, reiterating a lot of what Sam said, is it's more focused on them. And then even like you said, even when I'm doing things like this, I'm doing it for them, but I still have to kind of like have an ear open. So it's kind of like, like that spidey sense type of thing. But I mean, he said, he left it. He said it very poetically, so I'll leave it.
Yeah. Now you have a unique perspective, because a lot of men either don't want to take the role of stay-at-home dad, or it just doesn't happen. So, kind of what is your perspective now of being at home with them daily? Can you kind of contest to what does that feel like, man? Because some women, say, man, it's a full-time job. Can you say the same thing? Because you can say that now. You can speak into it.
It's like 2 full-time jobs. Ooh. Or more. It's insane. So it really was. So and like you said, be as real as we want. So
Yeah.
before COVID, so I was doing a lot of stuff. Like one of the things is in our marriage, I said I want to do more than what I see most Hispanics, because in Hispanic culture, and this is a lot of other cultures as well, the woman is the one changing diapers and feeding and all this other stuff. And I was like, no, I want to take part in that. So I changed a ton of diapers. I've, when our daughter was born, I work Monday through Friday. So then Susie would, she would obviously waking up crazy hours. And then Saturday and Sunday, I was like, all right, I'm going to wake up early, like 2 or 3 in the morning, so that she can sleep in. So I was trying to do, I was like, I want to do more than what the typical male or husband did. So I felt like I was doing a lot. And then I started to just sweep and mop and do, the dishes and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm doing a lot. Like I'm going in. I hang out with the kids. I play with them. We do all this stuff. And that was like just the tip, the very, very small tip of the iceberg. And I'm talking about, like, I was doing a lot. But now, since COVID, because when COVID happened, me and my wife did a switch, because I was doing full-time, artists, and then also Uber and Lyft.
Okay.
So Austin shut down, and literally shut down. I think I would wake up like 4:30 in the morning, 5, and drop people off at the airport. And I was sitting in my car for like 5 hours, and I got 2 rides. I was like, I ain't gonna be doing this no more. And so God opened up the door so my wife could start working full-time. She was an intern. She just graduated. She finished intern, then she became part-time, then she was full-time. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll do this. I got this. But it's so much work. Like, I remember sometimes I would come home and I'm like, why is the house, why didn't you sweep? Why is it not, just different things, right? Like, why is the food not ready? Why is the dishes not clean? Or why is this, like little things. Sometimes I wouldn't say nothing, but sometimes I would. And now I'm like, I swept like 4 times today. Like, seriously, they can't. I don't want to give them cereal because they make a mess. I don't want to give them rice because they make a mess. I don't want to give them certain foods. Like, I'm staying away from certain foods because it's a mess to clean up. And then also cooking. Like, I had to learn how to cook, like really cook. And then also I was like, I'm doing, because I still work part-time. I do videos part-time. So I'm like, okay, how am I doing this? Then I'm also homeschooling 2 kids that act like twins. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. And I think I'm gonna do a YouTube video about trying to wash laundry, fold laundry, and put away laundry all in one day, which is impossible. It's almost impossible. It feels like impossible. I wrote a song for Mother's Day for my wife and my mom, and I said it's called "I Understand Now." And really, what it's saying is, like, I was a jerk. I treated my wife more like a maid than a wife. I treated my mom, I always wanted more. And when I was probably, I think 2 to 3, my mom worked from 5 in the morning to 11 at night. She worked 2 full-time jobs. Because my dad, he wasn't really in the picture. So in my mind, I was just like, I just want more. I want more. You don't give me more, then you don't love me, and I don't like you. So like all these emotions came up, and I was like, dang, they do so much. They do so much. And so I'm like, it's insane. But I don't want to take all the time. But yeah, so it's crazy. Like, yeah, we need to appreciate and do more. Even if we think we're doing a lot, we need to do more.
I see. Very, very, very great perspective that you have. Firsthand. For me, life before kids. Let me see. Okay, so before, I actually didn't want to have kids, to be honest with you. I was good with being single. I was good with not being married at the time. I was like, yeah, I'm doing my music. Apostle. Yeah, man. I was like, I'm doing my music thing, man. I'm doing ministry over here. Like, life is good right now. Got married, finally, got married. So my wife, she got me. And then so we didn't have kids at first in life. Before, I just didn't understand how free we really were, right? Because you get married and you feel like you're doing, a lot. You take a trip, it's like, man, we wish we could do more. We're so busy. And then we had 1 kid, but it was okay, right? Because you had somebody that was always willing to watch my daughter. And then 2 and then 3 happened. And then, you find out that they're not a package deal. So because because somebody took the one, they're not gonna take all three, so you got to find that person that has kids already. And so now it's like, okay, you got to pick and choose where you're gonna go because you can't make it to everything. But now I say, okay, now we really learned how to manage, or learning how to manage our time. And that's why for us, bedtimes are so key. But before, again, like Sam was saying, like I can't, like, even though my time is at night, like I really truly can't just go all in and just, zone out, put my headphones in and just forget it. Because again, my son, sometimes he walk out of the room with night terrors. My daughter, sometimes the youngest get up screaming. And so you gotta listen out for that, man. It's just, but it's, again, like you said, we called it a beautiful burden. Is that what you called it? It is, like, because I do want to hear them cry, because then the opposite, right? So I want to hear them cry. I want to be there to protect them, night terrors, hug them and all that stuff. So I think for me, having kids definitely opened up my protective eye as well. So you get it now when your parents said be home before the streetlights come on, or don't get out of my eyesight, or you play right here in this area. You know what I'm saying? Because you already have that. Like for me, when I had our first kid, like the protective dad instinct already kicked in, like automatically. Like, and I feel like, that's something that just gets triggered.
So I want to interrupt on that. So sometimes I have a hard time with that because I'll be at like the playground and kids be like talking to my kids. I'm like, I'm about to Hulk smash one of these little kids. Like, so I'm like, because that overprotective, right? And so I don't want to be a helicopter parent as well, because I want them to learn how to deal with conflict in a healthy way. But sometimes I'm like, because conversation we were having earlier, like, because where I was living at in Austin, there was some parts that were real racist, and so. Anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, that's a great way of saying it too.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, when the last time you had food to yourself?
Man, I mean, the fact that you asked that question, I already know the answer. I don't know. Even today, like anytime today, right? My daughter, they wake up. My middle son makes her Honey Nut Cheerios and makes him Honey Nut Cheerios every morning, right? So she has her Cheerios already. I get up, I come in, and I get my Honey Bunches of Oats. That's my personal box to myself. They know not to touch it. I pour my Honey Bunches of Oats. She comes and she sits next to me, and I'm like, no, you're not getting it. You just had your Cheerios. But I want some. So of course I pour her some in her bowl. And she gets pretty much, but it's like that with everything. Like no matter what I'm eating, even if they don't like it, they act like they want to eat it. Or if I'm drinking juice, oh, can I have some juice? Yeah. But I mean, but truthfully, that started with marriage. The kids didn't start that. Like my wife, she always wants to get some whatever I'm eating. Oh, I just want a little bit, and then she bites half of the sandwich.
Right. You ask them, hey, do you want some? No, I'm good.
No.
Right. Yeah, I can totally order your own for you.
Right. So hey, let me taste a little. Let me get a little taste. Like, is it good? Like, yeah, it's good.
No, it don't taste that good.
Right. It's horrible.
Yeah, my wife prepared me for the whole scavenge thing with the kids, so it's not shocking anymore.
Absolutely.
That's funny.
Steve, I know you get meals by yourself, right?
I get what?
You get meals by yourself? You get a chance?
So with the kids, what helps is that I like spicy food. They don't like spicy food yet. But like you said, my wife loves spicy food. So yeah. So sometimes we gotta like sneak stuff in or eat when they're not looking, or but it doesn't happen.
No.
Now so we have a cat, a dog, and a rabbit. So I'm like, man, everybody
got a rabbit.
Food. Yeah, we have a rabbit.
It's a lot of food.
Yeah.
Right. So not only do you have kids, but you decided to take on pets.
I didn't decide. I did not decide that. So we had a dog. We got it 2014, and when we moved to our last apartment, we were there 3 years. I gave it to my mom to hold because they were charging like $500 pet rent and all the. I was like, man, So, anyways, I told my mom when we get a house, we'll take him back. We had a party, like a homewarming party. My mom and my dad brought the dog. Like, here's your dog. I was like, hey. And then my wife's like, yeah, I want a cat for my birthday. I was like, all right, we get a house. I said this like a year ago. And then sure enough, we got a house. So she's like, all right, I want my cat. I was like, man, I ain't never had no cat. So I did not choose at Herbert. I told her, if we have a cat, you got to clean him. You got to feed him. Same thing with the rabbit. Same thing with the dog. But now I got to clean him and feed him.
Of course.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. But
bringing up anxiety for me.
So every time I ruffle a bag in the kitchen, my daughter comes right around the corner. What are you doing?
Sounds about right.
Right.
Yeah, that's like my son. Yeah. What are you doing? What are
you doing? What are you eating?
You know what I'm doing.
Right. He's like, what is do your kids ever ask, what is that? And you know they know what it is. Like
they know exactly what it is.
Right. It's like, what is that? It's like, you know what it is. Can I have some? You just had that.
Like, they eat so much, it's crazy.
Yeah, like my son, he just smashed. All right, so they had spaghetti. It was baked beans. It was chicken. It was from a repast. And so they had all that. My son smashed it, right? I'm talking about my casing. So he smashes it, and he's talking about more, right? My son Kendrick over there crying. He just ate 2 bowls of spaghetti. All right, so I finally sit down with my plate, and then he looking at me, and they both crying at the same time. And then Kendrick, he crying, Casey, he saying he want more, and then my daughter's asking for ice cream for dessert. And so, I mean, even in the morning time, though, when I have my bowl of oatmeal, I give them all their own oatmeal, and then my son asks, can he have some? And as soon as I sit down, and then he eats half of my oatmeal. So I'm wondering, why am I going to work hungry? It's because I never had a chance to finish all of my cereal. So,
What is the age? I'm curious of the age gaps between your kids.
My oldest is 9, the middle is 5, and then the youngest is 2.
Okay.
So he's almost out of there. So I go 5, 3, 1.
5, 3, 1.
Yeah.
Still got the diapers. Yeah, ours is 6 and 4, so 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and see, and they're gonna keep asking for stuff. I heard it never stops.
Make sure y'all stop. Don't have them. 2 is good.
2 is good. We got boy and girl. We're good. We're done.
Number 1. Once you have 3 kids, you got to start dividing kids for babysitting.
Yeah, you do.
You got to send 1 here, and you got to send 2 there. So stop it too.
Yeah.
Actually, my daughter, she's getting a chance to go to Disney World. One of our good friends, or all of them, they have a daughter, but their sons are a little older, so she has no one to play with. So my daughter got invited. So as far as that divide, so she's gonna be going there. We got to figure out what to do with the other 2. I think they're gonna take 2 of them. If we did ask, me and my wife could actually go hang out and stuff like that. So how do you? All right. So pre-COVID, what were your guys'? So you're thinking as a father, and this might be twofold. How did you prepare for date nights? When you have the kids, what do you guys do? How does that happen?
Pre-COVID was a lot. Well, I mean, for us, it didn't really change.
Okay.
Before and after COVID, because we were still in the Bay. My mom was there, my dad was there,
okay.
Aunties was there, so it wasn't necessarily too difficult just to be like, hey, can you watch the kids tonight? We're going out. And since we did both have the ability to kind of create our own schedules, we did a lot of dates during the day.
Oh, okay.
We didn't always have to go out at night. So like when the kids were at school, we would just drive out to Walnut Creek or wherever, go get some breakfast, go get some lunch. And that was like our time to hang. Even once we got here to Georgia, if the kids were in school, the baby was at daycare, we can go out, go to the city during the day, get a nice breakfast, get a nice lunch, then come back and pick the kids up. So it made it a little easier because we didn't always have to wait until the nighttime or the evenings to try to go out and get babysitters. But even now, if we do try to go out, it's like, okay, we got to send, you know, all right, we'll send the marriage to the neighbor's house because they got a daughter the same age. And then we might send the boys to a friend's house who got, you know, kids the same age. We'll try to work it out that way. So now it's a little more difficult because we're in a new area. We don't have our community is not as large as it was, you know, back home. But yeah, we did a lot of dates during the day, so it helped out.
That's good. Yeah. So the thing that I wish we had was that community, because we in Austin and everywhere we live for the past since 2014. Actually, well, yeah, that's when we had kids in 2015. We don't have any family around here, and that's what sucks. And I'm always kind of like, who can we trust? Because you hear so many statistics is that it's not the stranger, but it's family members. And I'm like, man, who do we leave them with? So for a long time, we didn't really do a lot of date nights. If we did, we took, you know, our daughter when they were young, and then my son. Even when we went to Thailand in 2019 and we took the kids, and we weren't supposed to. It just happened. But yeah, I mean, and they did well. It was like a 36-hour flight, but
so a how long flight?
36 hours. Well, it was the time of traveling. The flight wasn't. It was like a 16-hour flight, 12-hour layover. They gave us a hotel. Then the rest of the time, yeah, it's long, but it's nice. Like they hook you up. Like they feed you like 4 or 5 times. They hook you. Like everybody got TVs and stuff. So, anyways, so before COVID and after COVID, it's been hard because we don't have that family. So it would have to be, it's like finding a daycare, putting them in there kind of thing. So yeah, that was it. It's honestly, it's been rough. So that's something that we're looking more into, because we're like, this is, you know, even Valentine's Day, we took the kids and it's like, all right, well, we're going to enjoy the fruit of our labor on Valentine's Day. Cause, most people that we did know from church and stuff like that, they were doing their own thing. So we just took them and kind of did it that way. But we still need our, you know, it's absolutely important to have date nights.
And I think also too, that's one of the reasons that we put our kids to bed at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. 7
every night, 7 o'clock. Like our oldest son, he gets to stay up a little bit later, like in his room. And then some nights, like, we'll let him hang out with us. But it's like, yo, we got to make sure that we are good as parents, as a couple, and kind of put ourselves first in that way, because we're not always going to be able to have, you know, date nights. But if we can have time for ourselves, you know, every day at night, if we can have at least, you know, if we put them to bed at 7, we can have 2 or 3 hours to ourselves. Yeah. Where we're not thinking about the kids. So it might not be a quote unquote date. But I mean, the whole purpose of a date is to have time together, quality time together. Yeah. Right. So if we can get that quality time together at home, as opposed to a restaurant or a movie or wherever, then like that's still a pretty good deal. Yeah. That's honestly, I guess that's a good point. I think that's the only reason why we've been able to make it, is because that's what we do for the most part. We try to put them around 7, usually 7:30. They're kind of doing their thing. But you're right, yeah, like, and that's kind of what we do, is like, all right, we watch a show, we hang out, talk about our day. But that's good. Looks like Herbert dropped off. Yeah, but I mean, it's essential. I think it's helped us out a lot just to be able to know that because our kids get out of school at like 2:30, right? So we got from like 2:30 to 7. Yeah. Super early, like 2:30 to 7, we can dedicate to them. So we give them a good, 4.5 hours on any given day. And then we can still have, about 3 hours to ourselves at night. So like I said, you're not, especially with 3 kids, we're not always going to be able to have a date night every week. It's just not realistic. Yeah, it's not realistic. Yeah. So, we try to find time to be able to carve out, space for ourselves. But the trick part is, like, I'm sure you probably deal with this too. When you do get that time to yourself, do you think that it's difficult to not talk about kids and just be able to focus on, like, you and your wife in the relationship? So not necessarily about the kids, unless they had like a bad day or something, I was like, I just lost it, and I was like, everybody go to your room. But more so is like,
work. I'm like, all right, I don't want to talk about work. I just want to talk about anything that has nothing to do with responsibility. And I think that was like so it's not necessarily about the kids, but it's still in the same idea, right? It's not really let us connect. It's like, this is how your day went. This is how my day went. That's important too, but also like, let's talk about something that is not so stressful. Let's communicate. Yeah. So that's been hard. That has been hard to not focus on that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's a trip. Like, you don't really realize how much kids kind of consume your thought process and your conversation as a couple. Like, even if you're talking like to your spouse about the kids for like an hour, that can seem like quality time, but you were talking about the kids the whole time.
Yeah.
And like, to talk about just like you and your wife, you and your spouse for an hour is like a whole different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think it's definitely important not only to get that time for yourselves, but to also make sure that when you get that time, that it's really about like you two.
Yeah.
And like showing up for each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So I have a question, man. Forgive it for this, because I might cut out again. I don't know why it does that, but we're gonna keep it rolling. And if you guys who are watching, go ahead and share again. We got some good stuff. They've been talking about some good stuff. Like, say, I was backstage and I still heard y'all talking.
Okay.
but
yeah,
keep
put
sharing,
some comments, questions, all that good stuff.
Yeah, questions are gonna be good too. Yeah, so share with somebody who you know is a father and is like, you know what? I'm gonna tag them in this because I want them to hear this. Let's keep moving because we almost at time. But who would you say was kind of like you look to or eventually seen as a model of a father? And now we do understand that biological fathers sometimes are not, the ones we see, but it could be somebody in the community, or anywhere else. So who was that person? Like, you know what? If I am to father, I want to do it like them because I see how they're doing it.
I mean, I think my answer now at 38 is much different than it would have been at like 21, right? Like now at 38, I kind of I can understand a lot more of my dad's parenting style and, some of the decisions he made, and wanted to make what he felt was the best decisions, for me as a son. Like at 38, I kind of understand that now with 3 kids, especially having 2 boys. So I would say that, like my dad, like my parents were divorced, but they had joint custody. But so I was split between the 2 of them, but he was always there to, provide whatever I needed. So that was definitely an example. And then I have some friends whose parents were married. So that was like a kind of a different viewpoint of a father in a marriage relationship. So it was like, okay, he's a dad, but he's also a husband. So that's like, I have my dad as an example as a dad. Then I had like my friend's dad, who was an example of a dad and a husband, which is like, a whole different set of, a whole different viewpoint, right? So I kind of had a lot of variety growing up in terms of who to look to. But even so, once I got married and had kids, like it didn't go out the window, but it got real, right? Like all of that was good in theory, but like when it's you and it's your kids and it's your wife, like it takes on a whole different level, right? It becomes a little bit more intense.
Right.
But I will say that I think subliminally seeing all that made the transition a little bit easier. Like I didn't go into fatherhood with any kind of apprehension or any type of fear. It was kind of like a natural transition. I didn't really think about, I got to be a dad now. It's like, okay, I'm having a son. Like, let's do this. So I think that my upbringing helped to put me in a position, consciously or subconsciously, to be able to kind of seamlessly transition into like this role, to where it was like a privilege to, to become a dad, as opposed to like something that I approached with trepidation. So,
oh, okay, all right, Mr. Steven, who was that one person that kind of emulated that father figure you want to model?
That's a good question. Even as he was speaking and you were speaking, I'm still trying to like really kind of nail it down. So I haven't seen as much as I would like to, but I think from what I am doing, what I have seen was my stepdad. He definitely he was supportive in everything that I did. And like even for like rapping, like he built a studio in the back, the backyard. So it wasn't for us, but he let us use it and things like that. And I remembered him letting me play with his video cameras and stuff like that. Now I edit videos and create videos and stuff like that. And then also he showed me how to like put stuff together, IKEA type furniture, and so now I love doing that. So in certain things, he took me kind of under his wing and showed me, okay, this is how you do a drill. This is how you do a hammer. This is how you do, like small stuff like that. And then also he just supported me. Like, he didn't like the music I did. He didn't, but he supported what I did. And so just that support system, I appreciate it, because he didn't push me to do certain things. He didn't force me, but he was always supportive. And he's like, okay, I'm going to give you advice. This is what I think you should do. This is what's going to happen, but really it's going to be your decision. And so, even as my kids, as I see them, like their personalities, like when they were very young, like my daughter was like, just like, I'm going to do anything and everything, just try everything. And then now she's a little bit more cautious because she's hurt herself. Like, she's tried crazy things and she hurts, but she learns. My son, he tries stuff, he gets hurt, he doesn't care. But her, she's more cautious. She's like, I'm not going to do that again because this is what's going to happen. Like, so that's good. She's using her wisdom. But then I don't, sometimes she gets to a point where she's like, I'm not going to try that because I'm afraid because this might happen. I'm like, well, failing is okay. We're learning from your failures is okay too. But, there's certain things that we, not to let that fear of failure and hurt, allow her to, to stagnate her, but to support her and push her, not push her, but encourage her in that way. Is important. And that's what I've seen, from my dad. And then I haven't really seen his interaction, but there's another friend of mine, his name is Sean. I haven't seen his interaction, but the way that his kids came out, I was like, they're so well behaved, they're so nice, they're so amazing, they love God, they're serving God, they graduated from college. And I was like, okay, what did he do? How did he do it? What was that conversation? But so I didn't get to see exactly that stuff. And he's an older gentleman, but still, I'm like, okay, I think, or we need to figure out a way where we can be around more brothers and husbands and fathers so that we can see, like, I like what he's doing. That's amazing. How he's talking to his kids, how is he encouraging, how is disciplining his kids? Because unfortunately, like, I haven't seen a lot of that. Like, most of the time, my mom was a disciplinary. She was the one who, told me whatever, like, you're messing up, you need to stop, type of things. So I didn't see as enough of that. So kind of my style is just kind of like, I'm still learning. Like, I wish there was a manual. I wish I can see more examples of, because there's stuff that I'm not doing. That's I'm doing things, but I want to learn how to do it better.
Right. I think for me, it's a combination of different men. I think for different stages. For me, to go with my dad, and one aspect was I would see him, try to, cook or clean or, do a little something. So I would kind of see that. But then when I first started going to church, because growing up, I didn't really see, like, the kids weren't really with the men. They were always with the women, so then I started seeing, kids actually being with their fathers. And then when I moved here, I saw a lot more of that, but then also, I guess, heard the direct approach of what you want for your children. the things you want them to have, like trying to leave an inheritance for them or trying to leave a legacy for them. And that, all that stuff, I didn't really hear coming up, but now I feel like just taking all those pieces, doing as much as you can to help, trying to do what's best, for your children and making sure they're good and having something set up for them. And then at the same time, being with them, like actually being around them and having them get to know you. So if one of the things that was actually good about COVID is that you had a chance to see me a lot more, you know what I mean? And they got, now got me getting a chance to know them a lot more. And knowing their skills, and knowing their personalities and who they really are, because before, you take them to daycare, daycare, they have them, from 8 to like 5, you get them, you only have them from like 6 to 7, because our kids, go to bed at 7:30 as well. So you pretty much had like, a nice little 3-hour window, and then on the weekends, but that was enough. So now they, get a chance to see them all day, and they get a chance to see you, and they get a chance to see you when you're mad and how you deal with things. And, are you really about it? Does this countdown mean I'm about to get it, or is this countdown just playing? You know what I'm saying? So, so now they know I was real, because they only let me get to 2. Really, my daughter only let me get to 1, and it's like, okay. So I think, look, my wife said they used to call mommy all the time. Now they say daddy and mix our names up since COVID. So yeah, so again, like they see mom a lot, but now they see us both, and now it's, like they mix, like they mommy, I mean daddy, like they mix us up all the time, and I think it's very cool to see that, and they get a chance. So last thing, I took my daughter to the doctor, my sons to the doctor, and the doctor was observing them, saying, okay, well, it seems like they're interacting with you, they like you, they want to be around you. And so, I think that just comes from, being with them, being around them all the time. And so it kind of rubs off, and it shows them that you see they can take on a lot of your traits and personalities for sure. But I think that's how it was for me, though. I think I've seen a mixture of men and fathers in the way I want to do things, and then also some ways I didn't want to do things as well. So, all right. So here's I think the final question, and then we're gonna, if those who are watching, we want to ask a couple of questions, you can, and we're also wrapping up because my phone is dying. So, honey, if you're watching, if you can bring down the charger. Well, yeah, I tried to charge my phone before. All right, here's the question. All right, here's the final question. What's the burden that you feel, I guess? And this is gonna be real deep, and you don't have to take it, it's gonna be kind of hard to explain, but do you feel the burden of a father? Do you at times feel like the weight of carrying your family? And if so, like, how do you deal with that? And Sam,
I mean, you feel it every day. It's not it's not necessarily a negative thing. It's more like, this is my responsibility as a father. Like, it's my job to kind of to shore up to strengthen their weaknesses, right? Like, their kids, they don't know what areas need strengthening, right? So it's my job to kind of see those areas, right? To see their areas of strengths and encourage them in that, and to recognize areas that could use some improvement, and also encourage them in ways that make sense to them on how to, like, improve those areas. So like my oldest son, super smart, extremely intellectual, but he's not as aware of the world around him and like the space that he occupies in the world around him. So it's my job to kind of help him see that in a way that he can understand. Like, he's one of those kids that gets things super quick, and if he doesn't understand it right away, he doesn't want to do it. So it's like, yo, you gotta be able to work past that, like in the real world. You know, one way to do that is to create, you know, small consistent habits where you have to do the same thing every day, right? So as soon as you wake up, like make your bed. That takes you 5 minutes to do. It has nothing to do with your bed being made necessarily. It's about you at 9 years old creating a small habit, creating a pattern of discipline that is going to help you later on in life. Because if you try to create discipline at 18, it's not going to work. Like you got 18 years of just trying to wing it on your intellect. It ain't going to work. So like while you have the time, while you have the cushion of your parents, like try to create these routines, try to create these small disciplines, right? I'm not trying to make you an adult at 9 years old, but like there are ways that you can create small disciplines that are going to help you to get over not wanting to push past your comfort zone when it comes to learning something. So that when you're 15, 16, 17 in high school and you have to learn something new, like you'll already have discipline built in you to be able to take on new challenges, right? Like that's my main thing is, number one, I want them to be aware of the world around them and discern the people around them. And I want them to be able to face challenges with confidence. So it's my job as a father to, at 9 years old and at 5 years old, and at 2 years old for my daughter, to find ways that make sense to them to be able to embrace challenges. So it's like my 5-year-old, he wanted a new bike. We bought him a new bike. 2 weeks, he was scared out of his mind to ride that bike. It had training wheels. Didn't want to ride it. So I'm like, well, if you don't want to ride it with training wheels, let me just take the wheels off since you're scared anyway, right? He didn't want to ride the bike at all, just crying, just fearful. So I'm like, hey, you know, I'll help you. We'll figure this thing out, right? So we work on it. He gets it like right away, but he's still kind of fearful. So I'm like, okay, like his thing is he wants you to show him how to do it, and then he wants to get it on his own. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna show you how to do this, and then I'm gonna leave you alone. So he's riding his bike. I go in the house. I come out. This dude's riding his bike, right? He's like, he figures it out. He conquers his fear. He embraces the challenge, and now he's riding his bike, right? And now he's able to witness firsthand for himself the excitement of being able to overcome a fear, right? Like the joy and the excitement that's on the other side of your fear, right? Like on the other side of this challenge, there's a lot of joy that lies here. And he was able to figure that out for himself just by me being able to recognize the way that he needs to learn, right? Because I can't teach him the way I teach my 9-year-old. My 9-year-old, I can be like, hey, this is how you do it. Go out and do it. But with him, it's like, hey, this is how you do it. Let me help you a little bit, and then let me leave you to it, right? So like as a father, we have to be able to recognize these different love languages of our kids, the different learning styles of our kids, and like push our egos out the way to be able to meet them like where they are, right? So I'm not going to treat them like adults and say, oh, you got to have discipline and you got to embrace challenges. I'm not going to do that like as an adult to them. I'm going to do that as a 9-year-old, as a 5-year-old, as a 2-year-old in a way that they can comprehend and still be able to come to that enlightenment on their own, right? Like I don't want to be that parent that puts the success of my parenting solely based on the success, quote unquote, success of my children. Because at that point, I'm only trying to parent them to make myself feel better, right? I'm not trying to parent them for them to realize, to come into who they are as people. Like our kids are not robots. We always say, oh, that's my kid, that's my child. But like they're their own whole person at the same time, right? So we have to find ways to embrace their individuality, but also obviously still guide them in a way that they can do that, embrace that individuality safely. So I think that's kind of the burden as a father, to help them embrace who they are safely while they're under my care. I want them to be able to have the freedom to embrace themselves without having to worry about all the extra stuff that comes with, you know, being out there on your own.
Wow, that's heavy. My wife really liked the part about making up the bed.
It's just small disciplines that create good habits later on.
Yes. You're right. You're right, man. You're right.
Start small. Start small.
Start small. Yes, yeah. She is definitely one to love to try to make up the bed. So yes, Steven. That's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Can you rephrase the question again, or say it again?
So, do you feel the weight of or the burden of being a father? And I guess all right, so I should rephrase it. How do you approach it? How do you meet with that burden? How do you approach it?
Yeah, definitely a lot of what Sam was saying was very powerful, very good insights. Mm-hmm. So I'll talk briefly about the actual question. So some of it, a lot of it was thinking. And so I think about all the people that I know. I think about myself and like almost everybody who becomes a Christian, they come, Christian out of some tragedy in some form, most of the time, not all the time. But a lot of us deal with father issues. Mm. A huge amount of us, me included, probably almost every single friend growing up, most of them, their dad wasn't there, or, just a spotty relationship, and then we put that on God, right? We put it on God. We think that God is like our father, whether he's distant, whether he's angry, whether he's abusive. I don't want a father like that. I don't want to father God like that. So that weight does I do carry that weight sometimes, and so obviously how we deal with it is important, but it's heavy, right? Because and there's things that like even in the song I say, now I finally understand. Now I understand what my mom and my dad, what they went through and why they disciplined me, why they told me certain things. Like you were saying, Herbert, they said it because they love me, mm-hmm. right? Hey, don't go do drugs. Don't go, hang around with those people. Oh, you don't want me to have fun. No, I don't want you to get killed. I don't want you to get robbed. I don't want you to get HIV. I don't want to see you hurt, is their heart, right? That's what they're saying. They're communicating to us. I love you and I don't want you to be hurt.
Right.
And so they don't understand. Like our kids do not understand when we tell them certain things, right? When we discipline them, they think it's the end of the world because they're living in the moment. They don't know tomorrow. They don't know next week. They don't comprehend time. And so I do carry that sometimes, and I'm like, I need to check myself, because there's certain times where I'm like, man, I said something or I did something, and I'm like, dang, is that going to be emotionally scarred them for the rest of their life?
Yeah.
And so then there's that part where obviously, we can't just live with that burden. It's impossible to live with that burden. Obviously, we want to live, as the best example as we can. We're not going to be perfect, but we want to do our best, right? We want to be the best husbands. We want to be the best fathers that we can. We want to live to that standard. And then at the same time, I didn't start making them my bed until I was in college, right? Because we'll get fined. They'll charge us $10 every time our room was a mess. Our closet was a mess.
I'm glad you told me that, because I thought you was just like straight up like speaking Spanish, man. I'm like, dude, military.
Well, so no, I wasn't at all. Like literally, like we say it, but literally God gave me a new heart. He gave me a new mind. I used to copy people in class and I would get better grades than them. That's the only way I graduated high school. I didn't know the stuff. I didn't know the information. And so it wasn't until I got into college and God literally had to give me a new mind so I can think different. Because I was thinking in the world, like everything we hear about rappers say. I believe that. I didn't know not a lot of them do that. Like 50 Cent, he said, I rap about being in the club. That was his number one hit. But I wasn't in the club. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't smoking. I was like, what? I was, because you said it was dope. Like, what do you mean you weren't? Right. And so I didn't understand that. Very early on, I was raised by rap. I was raised by, Menace II Society, New Jack City, Scarface. Like that became my mindset. That's what I believed. I didn't just see it as a movie. I thought that was life. And so when I rededicated my life and I said, God, whatever you want, because I was at the point of suicide, I said, God, whatever you want, I don't care what it is. I have to give up my friends, my family. I got to cut my hair. I got to change. Whatever you want, take it. And so when we went to SUN, when we went to Bible college, they're like, this is what you're supposed to do. I was like, all right. I tried doing things my way. You say I got to do this, I'm going to do it. because I want to be obedient to God. Because if I'm not being obedient to God, I'm breaking his heart. If I'm not loving God and I'm doing this sin or that sin or whatever, I'm breaking God's heart. And I don't want to do that.
And this is the approach that you take in with your kids, or?
I try. So the approach that I take is I have to be the best example I can. And two, I have to understand that I don't want them to fall away. I don't want them to live prodigal. I don't want them to do that. But at the same time, like I can't, like God has to do it, because I was 20 before my life changed. I was a rotten person. I was a disgusting human being. Like the way I treated people, the way I treated friends and enemies and women. Like I was a terrible person. Like, and God had to, only God could do it. Only God could intervene. So there's that tension. The tension is, that free will. Like, God, you gave me free will. I have to save them. I have to love them. I have to love them into the kingdom. I have to be an example. But at the same time, there's the other part where, God, you have to love them. God, you have to help me. God, you have to. So it's that tension. And so I'm, for the most part, I focus on what I think it was Augustine. He said, serve and work as if it all depends on you, but pray as if it all depends on God. That that tension, like, I want to love them as much as possible. I want them to say, I want to be like my dad when I grow up. I want my daughter to say, I want to marry someone like my dad. I want to be that kind of example.
Right.
But I know that I fell short. I know that I've fallen short. I know that I did mistakes. I know that I said stupid things. I know that I disciplined probably when I should have given grace. When I gave grace when I probably should have disciplined. Mm-hmm. And so, so all those things, but I can't keep that, because it'll destroy us. Right?
Yeah, that's the key.
Carry that weight.
Right. And that's the key, is not getting caught in that trap of, man, I should have did this. And so now you're beating yourself up, for the rest of the week, Yeah. So for me, kind of like what you're saying is, for both of you guys, like I want them to have certain things, develop certain things, and at the same time, my goal is to, I want them to love God, but I know at the end of the day, once they become of age, they're going to make their own choice and they're going to do what they need, want to do. But, I do want to be that influence in their life. I do want to be, that key person where they can come to and not feel like they, or feel like they have to hide anything. So, but as where they are now, I should have, given grace where I disciplined. And so sometimes I think about that. You're like, you know what? I really should have just sat down and really talked to him and just hugged him, what I'm saying? Because I know he don't understand that. So what I do is I sit back and I think about, like, okay, I probably was a little too hard. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do, if he or if she, if they do X, Y, Z, I'm going to approach it this way.
That's good.
And that's what I'm gonna come up with a new game plan, because obviously that approach. So let's say if they have to get a spanking, but I noticed that approach didn't really work. So let me go on. So for example, my son Kason, he's a softer person. Like he gets in, like he's kind of rough, but at the same time, like he loves hugs, he loves kisses. Like he's the softer side. So I see if I talk to him softly, he's more tend to do what I say than if I, become real firm with him, because that's just not the type of kid he is, And I know with my daughter, she doesn't like to get in trouble. So I don't have to do much, what I'm saying, to to really get her where she wants. Like, she got an attitude or anything, but I don't have to do much. So I kind of look and I see those things and I try to implement that. But as far as like, to get to the question, the burden is later on, I want them to see their dad as, like you said, Stephen, like I want to be like him, or for my daughter, I want to marry someone like him, or I'm not going to go to anyone else because my dad is taking care of me. And so he's shown me what a man really is. So I'm not going to go to just anybody because I'm confident enough and I'm secure enough in myself to where I don't have to. That's what the type of love I want to give to her. And so, I definitely, want my kids to experience. Heck, I just want them to have a great life as kids. So when they get older, they don't have to carry a lot of the burdens that we all have had, and have to battle through. I want to give them another life. So I've never grew, I think I know I didn't grow up in a house. You know what I mean? So the fact that my kids get a chance to grow up in a house, is totally different. Like I never got a chance to travel. Like my travel was, going to Stockton, just driving, saying an hour up. Heck, my daughter got a chance to go to DC and got a chance to go to Texas and all the stuff that I never gotten the chance to do, and the stuff that, that I had to experience, she's never have to experience, she's never going to have to experience lights being cut off. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff that I think that's the burden for me is raising them to not have to experience what I had to experience, to live the life that I always, desired to live when I was a kid. They get a chance to live that, and so for me, I just take it a step at a time and I don't overwhelm myself. In whatever area I feel like I need to get better in, I try to do the best of my ability and, through the grace of God for sure. But it's some good stuff, fellas. There's some heavy stuff. I didn't want to go too deep, you know what I'm saying? But you can't do that. And I think this is what men think. And I think we're, honestly speaking when, given a chance to speak, we're gonna speak and we're gonna share. And men will do that for sure. All right, so we're gonna cap it off with this last question, and then we're gonna call it good night. And if guys, if you're on, and if wives or if ladies you're on and you're struggling with what to give your man for Father's Day tomorrow,
give him some time, give him some space.
That's my question. Hey, what is the best gift for Father's Day? Come on, I want you to shoot out there, ladies. Go ahead and write this. You need to probably write this down, and we're gonna wrap it up. So, what's the best father gift for you? What's for you?
Time and space.
Time and space.
Leave me be. Time and space. Let me wake up whenever I wake up. Let me come into my man cave, and if I choose to stay out here all day, I don't want to hear nothing about it. Mm-hmm. Time and space.
Don't bring it up.
That's all I need. Right. Anything else is extra, but just give me some time and space for this one day.
Time and space. Steve, what you got?
I got a list. I got a Sony A6400. I'm trying to get a PS5 or PS4 at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get some new stuff. That's kind of what my focus is on. But I mean, honestly.
So you want those socks?
I mean, if they look dope, I mean, that's not gonna make me happy.
1980s, man.
It's funny because so my wife bought me a drill, and we were talking about it because I bought her stuff, and she's like, "This ain't really a gift for me. This is for the house." I was like, "Well, this ain't really a gift for me. This is for the house." Like, so that don't count. Like, hold up.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like, she's like, "Well, we bought these couches. Don't you use them?" I was like, "Yeah, but you wanted them. We had couches anyway." So I don't know. I guess for me, I'm just like, let's just hang out. Let's go do something fun. Like, I like to try new things, whether it's go-kart, zip lining, something like that. I want to try something. Like, that's what I try to do for my birthday at least once a year. But that'd be dope. We do it twice a year.
You gotta go to, if you get a chance, go to Las Vegas to the extreme race cars. Super dope experience. You get to drive like all the exotic cars, all the like sports cars. You get to take it around the track.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is it a stick? Because I don't want to drive a stick.
That's the problem. Yeah.
It's an automatic, but you got the paddle shifters.
Oh yeah, the little. Yeah, they got that in. So we got Formula One in Austin, and so I think they have that too. But that'd be Las Vegas. Yeah, that'd be dope too.
That definitely try that if you get a chance to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sam, you want time and space. Just leave me be for the day. Let me do what I want. Take the kids and let me just, be by myself. That's what you want. Yep. Steve, you like new stuff, or you want to try it? You want to have new
experiences? Yeah, I want
to. You know what? Mine is just really simple. and honey, if you're watching, it's really simple.
Share.
Oh, look, yo, I think your mom said hello.
What's up? Hello. Shout out to my mom. A little late, but it's all good.
It's all good. She got on. She got on.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
It's quite
What's up, King?
For me, I think there's a little bit of that time and space, but at the same time, I think just going out.
I get my time and space when I do my dishes, just so y'all know. But
that's not true time and space, man.
Well, I'm in there jamming. I'm washing dishes, but I'm just zoned out.
All right. Okay. So then your time and space again is like, driving to the store too, right?
No, because I got the kids with me. But they're like, well, we wanna hear you.
Look, see my wife saying
what you want, Negro?
Wow.
What you want, Negro? Say it. Spit it out.
Say it. It's so simple. Just share. He just wants you to share this with someone that he can bless.
Really, it's just hanging out. I think just hanging out, like going somewhere to celebrate Father's Day, and then and I do like gifts. Okay, so if any gift and anything, now obviously it would be like super expensive, PS5, but the way my time is set up now, I probably wouldn't be able to really enjoy it.
Do you have a PS4? I'll buy it from you.
Oh, okay. Well, you can buy my PS4. I'll send it to Texas.
All right, bet.
All right, but yeah, just hanging out, like going out as a family for sure. I always enjoyed that, and yeah, I think think that's really the main thing. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you.
But I think that's just hanging out in a practical gift that I can actually use. So,
what is a practical gift?
So what I use. I mean, you see what I'm doing.
AirPods. You want some AirPods? AirPods.
Good. AirPods are number one. I don't have those.
Podcast mics and all that stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. Something I can use. What else is there? Yeah, you know what? I would love.
Tell it backdrop.
Huh?
Oh.
Tell it backdrop.
She said some soap. She trying to say I stink. Just some soap. Listen, I go to Walmart and buy that, honey. All right, I can buy that. That's not particularly unless it's some very special soap that I've seen being advertised that these commercials swear by. But other than that, that's type of stuff, that I use on a daily that will enhance this. But yeah, really just hanging out, hanging out with the kids, and they,
Restaurant or
restaurant.
What kind of restaurant? What you like eating?
We don't have. Well, we have some. It's just a lot of American food joints here. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I love Mexican food, and they just built a restaurant, but that's not really kid friendly. So we will always probably go to Applebee's, or we'll probably go to Robin.
Why isn't that kid friendly?
Well, because it's very nice.
Kid friendly restaurant.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's called Ancho and Agave, and it's really set up for date nights.
I know what you mean. Okay, that's what you mean.
Outside fireplaces and.
Okay.
You know. But
IHOP is the only kids friendly restaurant.
IHOP.
IHOP is the only kids friendly restaurant. Ain't nothing else kids friendly, man.
Red Robin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like Red Robin.
Yeah, but outside of that, places like IHOP.
Places with a slide.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
Stuff like that. But I think for sure is I think those are good gifts. The ones that are not good, okay? I'm not talking about from what my wife has given me and the kids, love you, honey, but I think the ones that aren't good, what is it? Oh, I can't say this. Y'all go. What's some that? What are some ones that gifts that you could do without? Then we can wrap it up.
A gift you could do without?
Father's Day.
Socks. I can do it. Socks, shirts, colognes. I mean, all the typical man stuff, drill, like stuff that I already have that you're just buying me more of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do none of that. Like, give me something new and different. If you just want to try to surprise me, make it something that I don't have. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can buy socks on my own. I can buy drills. I can buy more drills on my own. Like, give me something that I'm not going to buy for myself that I need.
So
what would that be?
So that requires like some studying, huh?
Huh?
Does that require studying? Do they have to dig, or will you just
They
let
gotta
them
dig. They gotta pay attention.
I'm not that difficult. Like, if you see me if you see me constantly going outside in the rain without a jacket, buy me a jacket, right? If you see that I'm sweating out here in this Georgia sun because I ain't got no hats, then buy me a hat. Like, little stuff
like
like
you got
that.
like hole in your shoes, right? If you got,
Yeah, you see me out here with holes in my shoes, buy me some shoes. Or if you see that I'm wearing the same shoes with every outfit because I don't have variety, then give me some shoes. Like my wife did do that one year. She bought me some dope shoes actually. So that was cool. So it's like, it doesn't require a whole lot of, Matlock investigation. Just, peep the game every now and then. And if you see it's something that I don't have, especially if it's something that you want me to have as my wife, then just go ahead and cop it. Because, I'm probably not going to buy it for myself.
That's a good idea. That's good. So, ladies, if you want your husbands looking good, if you always picture them and whatever you want them to have or however you want them to smell,
yeah,
you might as well just get it. And so you don't have
to go ahead and drop some bands on your man real quick.
Yeah.
I would love to have a trainer. But my wife, she gonna say I'm a trainer, so that's not.
Oh, trainer! I thought you said a trader. I was like, what does that even mean?
A fitness trainer, but I think it gets a little different when I can't do the weights and stuff, all that right now because I done messed up my back trying to do too much too fast. So, So Steve, are you done with those macaroni portraits as a Father's Day gift?
I haven't got one, but I need just one. I don't need more than one.
Right.
I've been homeschooling, so we haven't did that yet. But if I get one from each, then I'm done. I don't need no more. That's it. Just one.
Okay. Well, there you are, ladies. If you're listening and watching, please just go ahead and take those notes. But it has been a good Father's Day special. It was funny. We went deep. We came back. We went there. So if no one has ever shared yet, go ahead and share it. Even after this is done, because there are some fathers out there that probably want to say the same thing we're saying now, but don't typically get the time or the chance to do so. So this has been good.
Real quick, I think we could also make in an effort to not make Father's Day like such a one-off thing. Like, this could be something that you do maybe once a month or once every other month to dig into the mind of a father, even when it's not Father's Day, because Mother's Day, they get the whole shebang. And Father's Day be like, oh, here you go. Here's your little piecemeal. So like if you use the
we gotta cook.
have to keep the conversation going throughout the entire year, like, because then it's not just going to be like, oh, it's Father's Day, let's focus on fathers. It's like, wait, but there's good fathers all year around.
You got that right.
On a continual basis, however the duration is, I think that would be pretty dope too. To have, all year, people have the chance to tap into the mind of a father, right? So it's not just a June thing. It's like all year, every month, every other month, whatever the case may be. I think that'd be pretty dope.
Steve, you want to lead that?
I'm down.
No, I think that's good.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
I have a podcast, so we could definitely do that podcast form, or would you like to do it like this?
Both.
Oh,
man.
Okay.
I mean,
you can take this audio and throw it on there.
I do that all the time.
The videos are important to put faces to the fathers that are out there doing their thing, because you don't have to search to find information about people bashing dads. Yeah. So I think if we can put a face to the good fathers that are out there, like, it gives it a little more weight. So, videos and the podcast, I think, will be dope on a consistent basis.
Okay. Yeah, I could do that because I take this audio files from here all the time and throw it up on Anchor. So I can have both, the live and the podcast. But that's some good insight. I got one more season left of Tell It coming up starting July 22nd. But you know what? That this may be something to explore. Maybe I run both at the same time. I'm not sure, but I think that'll be good. I think that'll be dope. Well, thank you, fellas, for coming on for sure.
Thanks for having
us. Good one.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No problem. Happy Father's Day to you and every father that is out there. Hope you enjoy your days tomorrow. Hope you get some dope gifts, or if they don't have it yet, hopefully they're about to run to the store tonight because they know exactly what you want. Or for you, Sam, your gift is free. All you want is time and space. And she's probably mad because she probably got something real good for you that costs some money.
Hey, I'll take that too. I'll take it too.
He'll just take it by himself.
Right.
Thank you. I'm going down to the basement.
Right.
Now.
Exactly.
Oh, you have a basement now, Sam?
Hey, well, it's a garage. It's not like an official basement, but it's my little garage space.
No, it's official. Blow the whistle. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Because you don't get much of that in the Bay, man. So this is my last plea. For y'all that live in the Bay, y'all need to come on out. Go to Georgia. Go to Texas.
No, not to Texas.
Don't do Texas. Don't come here.
Georgia is cool. Illinois is cool.
Come to Illinois. You know what I'm saying?
Florida is cool.
Come get you some space. Come get you a basement. You know, come get you a man cave.
Come get you a yard for them kids.
Yeah, come get you a yard.
Yeah, that's the best
high prices to, you know, to be where you just to enjoy that little sun. So, well, other than that, all right, y'all, we out here. Again, happy Juneteenth, and we'll probably pick this up again some other time. But all right, y'all, we out. Peace.
All right. Peace.